Hey everyone, you know who I am, but you might recognize her. This is the fabulous, gorgeous Jenn Grandjean. She is going to be talking with us today about the art of persuasion. You probably recognize her from two of our previous discussion board questions, one on active listening and then the one that set up the questions for this interview. So let's jump right into it. How'd you choose to do real estate?
I went to college right after high school. I majored in business and then switched to psychology. I knew that I wanted to work with people. Didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. So I ended up meeting this awesome real estate agent who used to be a contractor. And she is the one that helped get me started into it. It was the best decision I ever made. And initially, I'll be honest with you, I got into real estate because I'm like, okay, how can I make the most amount of money and how do I work with people? But the better question is, how did I get into coaching? Because when I made that transition into coaching, that was when I really actually flipped my mindset into, actually, I really want to help people. That's where I get the most joy and the most, I feel value when I can give value. And so it became less about the money and more about how do I just help as many people as possible. So instead of me just individually helping one-off sellers and buyers, if I can help people on a global level, an international level, help them be more confident to sell real estate, how many more people can I affect? So that was kind of my journey. And yes, got started into real estate, but then my true passion became, I can help real estate agents more than just buyers and sellers, which is also great. So that was kind of my transition into the coaching aspect.
Great. And full disclosure, I know Jenn not only as a friend, I also work for her in her business. So just full disclosure class that going on. And part of what drew me to her is she is brilliant at her craft. She is brilliant at what she does. How long did it take you, though, to improve those persuasion skills? Does it come naturally to you? And how did you achieve this confidence that you give off in not only in your field, in which you're really competitive in the Portland area, but also the confidence when you come and coach people?
Yes. Okay. So did it come naturally? No, I had not come from a sales type job before. So my mindset was like, okay, how do I just make this work and how am I going to become a good salesperson? That's something I did not come born with. And so I had to work on that. And the thing that helped me the most is, so I got into it. And as soon as I switched into a sales role, I was like, okay, I am not the best salesperson out there, but how do I improve those skills? And one thing that I did that is the best thing that I could have done is I thought about, okay, what can I control? I can't expedite experience, right? Because everyone has a limiting belief, not everyone, but a lot of people have the limiting belief like I did, in that I can't be a good salesman if I don't have experience, or don't have the knowledge. But instead of that, I pushed through that and I said, okay, what can I control to help me get there? And it was follow-up. It was, you know what? Maybe someone has a better script than me or can speak better than me, but I can follow up more than anyone. And I can be consistent on that. I can track it. I can control it. And so me just doing that and being confident in my actions helped build that confidence, because the more conversations I had, the better I was able to discern what if I say this one way? What if I say this another way? That didn't work. Okay, let's try something else. So for me, it was getting myself outside of my comfort zone, which was sales. That's not something I was used to or was born with, not naturally good at it. And then over time, my experience did then impact my confidence and my persuasion skills. So that's how I kind of grew into it. And so you don't have to be discouraged if you're feeling like, I'm not good at persuasion. It's a confidence building thing on doing things that you can control right now, and not hope and wish, I'm not that. You have to act like that person and practice those things in order to become that if you don't have it naturally.
Nice. It sounds a lot like riding a bike, where people can tell you what to do, but until you feel it, and like what the sense of balance feels like, you ain't going to get it. But once you get that feeling, it's there for good.
Absolutely.
How do you persuade people in a way that they do not feel like they're being too pressured to make a certain decision?
It's really important to realize and understand, okay, whatever it is you're selling, if it's a service or a good or whatever, you being confident that whatever it is that you're selling to them is something that they would need or benefit from or that they want. You're not trying to sell something to someone that wouldn't be beneficial, right? So for me in real estate, Do I believe that real estate is a good investment? Absolutely. Have I personally experienced real estate contributing to my wealth? Yes. So why wouldn't I be the right choice? Why wouldn't I show people and teach them that, like, hey, this is how you do it. I've done it myself. I believe in it. And even if they're on the fence about something, I know that what we're trying to do, the exchange that we're having, I have something that they need or want or should have. And so that's how you can overcome, even if someone has self-doubt, if someone has doubt about real estate or whatever it is that we're in the middle of a transaction or even a conversation, I can be confident in those things that this is a good thing for them. So even if they don't believe it yet, I believe it, and I know I can have a good impact on their life.
When people are so cautious about the truthfulness of information, especially on social media, because you've done very well on social media, how can you reassure them that what you're providing them is factual information, that's the truth?
Here's the thing. If you are not consistent in any relationship, no matter what it is, you're not going to build solid trust. Imagine someone that you meet and you want to build a relationship with them, and you reach out to them every few months. Do you think that that is going to build a solid relationship? No. The same thing goes for social media. You're building relationships with people. If your intent is I want to earn trust from people, you got to show up every day. And that's what people miss, is that the more consistently I show up and the more consistent my message is, and the more that I give my audience what it is that they want to hear by researching, looking at your metrics, seeing what people engage with, and you give them more of that, then that's how you build that trust. You don't have to worry about, oh, am I saying the right thing? How do I like that? No, is your message consistent? Is it true and authentic to who you are and what you believe? You don't have to convince anyone. I can't tell you how many people they will schedule an agent that schedules a call me, because people reach out to me all the time for my coaching services or because they want to buy and sell real estate. And when they've seen my social media platforms, the intro conversation is so much. We don't have to get to know you. They already know me because I'm constantly pouring out what I believe, what I'm good at, and how I can help them on a consistent basis, not once every couple weeks. It's consistent, and it is the same message in different ways, so that they learn and know that they can trust me because I've shown up. They can scroll back, and what I'm saying, who I am, it's the same. So you have to think about social media as relationship building, not just content dumping.
Jenn, people today, especially with social media, are much more concerned. Is this the truth? What am I beginning is the truth? How do you reassure them?
I'm going to give you a hot take, okay? It's less important what the truth is and more important about what perception is. What you're showing people is what they're going to take as the truth. So whatever information that you want to share, hopefully it's good, right? Like, hopefully you're a good person, you have integrity. So when you're on camera, you're automatically going to act different, like we all do. So you don't have to pretend that that's not a thing. Whatever it is that you want to sell, whatever side of you that you want to show people, that's okay. That's what is the perception that you want people to see and understand? I don't show every single side of me on social media. I'm showing them the best parts of me, why I'm the best coach, why they should choose me to buy or sell real estate, why I'm the strongest salesperson they've ever met. And I present both information, personality, energy that I want people to see. That's what's important. Stop stressing about, oh, am I saying every single thing 100% accurate? Am I telling you? Just like, if you're already worried about, oh, I just want to make sure that's truthful, you're fine. You're going to be okay. Okay. Just what do you want people to perceive about you? What do you want them to buy from you or learn from you or know about you, and present that? So it's way more about consistency of what it is that you want to present, way more than stressing about, is this the truth or whatever, because people already have their worldviews and their perception. So put out there whatever perception that you want to show and be consistent with it. And that's going to make the biggest difference, because people will take you at your word, especially when you're being consistent. So focus more on that, less on how do I prove that I'm telling the truth? Because like, people just want to be felt, seen, and heard. That's the biggest thing. So if you can communicate that and be that way through your content, that's what matters more than anything.
Sounds like a lot of that also hits the question from our next student, but I'd love to hear more if you want to add to it. How do you, as you're interacting with people, feel confident about the way that you speak and interact with them, especially when you might be concerned about saying the wrong thing with a customer, client, patient, whatever field you're going into?
The most confident person in an interaction will win. And not to make this about winning and losing, but it is about winning and losing. If you are in an exchange, actually, you could think about everything as an exchange, everything as a transaction. If you think about every single conversation that you have, you actually are trying to persuade people every single time that you speak with them, whether that's where should we go out to eat? What, like, all the way down to like really important opinions that you have about the world or yourself or how you feel about relationships. Everything, if you look at everything as a transaction, the person who's the most confident will win. Now, I'm talking about sales, right? So if you're a doctor, lawyer, whatever, like, where obviously like you need to know what you're talking about, you need to be confident in that and have the knowledge. Yes, follow the laws in whatever industry that you're in. When we're talking about sales, confidence comes from inside. I mean, I could sell ice to an Eskimo, right? Even though they don't need it. Sure, I could do that. So it helps if you believe in the product or the service that you're selling, of course. But sales 101, you got to have confidence. And so I have that. Sure, like I can speak from now experience, time in the market, and I have the knowledge. But when I didn't, I had to build on the internal confidence of, I know that I'm doing something that's worthwhile. I enjoy it. I know it works. And I know this is going to be helpful to people. So are those requirements? No. So above any and all of that, you have to have the internal confidence. And for me, that came from being consistent. Again, you're going to hear me say that over and over and over. You're going to see that in my content. Consistency, consistency, consistency. Marketing law of 7. You guys don't know about it, you should. On average, someone has to interact or engage with an ad or a product or a service on average 7 times before they make a buying decision. So if you aren't communicating your message at least 7 times, that's just the average. Sometimes we got some slow to buy people. So sometimes it's 20. That's why the more consistent that you are, the more confidence you're going to get, because you are used to communicating whatever it is, the value or the service or the product that you provide. But then your audience is going to hear it over and over and over and over again, which is why consistency and the confidence through that is going to make the biggest difference, rather than worrying about how much knowledge do I have, how much experience do I have, and am I being truthful or not. All of that comes secondary to the consistency and confidence that you have.
Is there such thing as being overly confident? For example, what would you tell a person if they've been told their communication is blunt or crass? What advice would you give them without watering down the subject?
Woo! Woo! There we go. Where are my blunt and crass people? I freaking love it. First of all, don't turn it down. Not everybody is for you, and that's okay. Okay, so I'm just going to lead with that. I love an honest, confident, quote unquote crass person. That is not a weakness. We need more of that in life. Somebody that's asking this question is already trying to minimize themselves because they've been told from other people it's too much. I don't want you to be any less than what you are, and anyone that makes you feel that way, well, you can decide if you want to continue engaging or not. But here's the thing, I'm gonna help you how to round this out, because yes, be too much. That is not a bad thing. That's not a negative thing. Imagine if everyone was walking around feeling self-empowered, feeling like they could be who they are, be honest, be blunt. We need more of that in this world. That's like, to be honest, that does genuinely give off a confident vibe, and more people want that. And anyone trying to minimize that is probably just not confident inside. So thank you for coming to my TED Talk on that, but that needs to be said. Now I will give you some tools to help you round that out, to soften it where you need to, because there's still interpersonal skills. You're going to work with different people in your life. You're going to come into contact with people that aren't like you and maybe get intimidated or whatever, but you like want to communicate that you actually can and will help them regardless of their personality type. So something that you can do is lead with whatever you think, whether it's an insecurity of yours, or you're worried about coming across too crass or whatever that is. just throw it out there. Hey, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I tend to come off super strong, and some people call it craft, whatever. So just so you know, my intent behind being this way, number one, it's just naturally who I am. Number two, I want you to know where I stand. You're always going to know where you stand with me. You'll never have to wonder what I'm thinking, because I'm just going to be really honest with you. And if that's too much, you can let me know. But if we're going to work together, this is how it's going to be. And I can promise you, you're going to get my absolute best, because that's all I know how to give. And if that's ever too much, you can let me know. But are you comfortable with me being super upfront and honest with you and blunt? Ask their permission. No, nobody wants to be like, oh no, I can't handle the truth. No one wants to say that, right? Even if they can't, they're not going to admit that. So you lead with that. Then when you show up as yourself and you already told them that's how it's going to be, no one's about to be like, oh, that's just how she is, or oh, that's just how he is. And they accept it. So you can just bypass the first impression of, oh, they're a lot, or they're too much. You already told them you were. So you already got to that point before they got there and could make a judgment about you. You already just told them your biggest insecurity, or that your worry about whatever the first impression is they had of you. And you just to like double down on it, you ask them for permission to do it. And so they're not going to go back and be like, you know what I'm saying? So like so tie it all in, lead with that. And then you're good. And if they genuinely can't handle it, you probably don't want to work with them anyway. Okay. So that's number one tool that you can use. Another tool you can use, this is small, but I think it'll help somebody, especially because I have a feeling if you are labeled as crass or blunt or too harsh, you probably speak right when the thought comes into your mind. Okay. So if you can practice, this is going to take practice, because if you're used to just verbally vomiting what you normally think, just count to 3 and then say what you were going to say. That's going to help your brain, like just take it down just like a notch. And then know your audience too. Part of this is understanding who your audience is. Is it someone that is completely opposite demeanor of you? Counting to 3 before you speak is actually really normal for them, and they're not good, right? So if someone talks more like this, then pauses to them is just normal. To you, you want to die inside. But to them, it's like, that's freaking normal. So it's okay if you know it, like, and you can feel it, right? Especially if you're a high energy person, you can feel if someone's like that. So just as an emotionally intelligent person, give them that space. And if they ask you a question and it's something you feel like, oh, this is a touchy subject, or they might raise their defenses if I'm coming in hot, you can assess that in a split second, count to 3, and then continue to speak. That's going to help you sound not so, quote unquote, crass.
Love it. Own yourself and offer them. Do you want the regular 87 or do you want premium unleaded?
Yes, honey. Exactly. I love it.
What do you do when you're caught off guard with a question? How do you continue the persuasion process? Like, it's a question you never even thought of before.
Yeah, believe it or not, I've been in this for over a decade. Still get questions, probably on a weekly basis, that I don't know the answer to. The most important thing when you get a question that you don't know the answer to is be confident in the fact that you number one, you don't know. Number two, you will find out, because you're a great problem solver. When have you ever, the best salespeople I've ever met are like, you know what, that's a really great question. I'm going to find out that for you, and I'll let you know tomorrow, or I'll let you know in 2 hours, or whatever it is. If you don't know it, don't shy away, back down, lean in. Hey, that's a really great question that you just asked. Give them that's people love to be complimented. So compliment on the fact that they just asked you a really great question. They're going to be like, oh, she gave me a question. Thumbs up. they're going to say, it's going to make them feel good and completely distract them from the fact that you don't know. By the way, when you go into a doctor's office, they don't always know what's wrong with you. They got to run some tests. They don't know, like, right? So you don't expect the professionals that you come into contact on a daily basis to know everything. No one knows everything. But when someone projects confidence that, hey, I might not know what the problem is right now, but I am confident enough to go find the answer, I'll take problem solving every day over someone who knows it all, every day, because that is a truly confident person and someone that I know is going to work to do their best for me. So don't shy away from it, lean into it.
We talked a little bit about the issue of truth that some people may have with personal interactions. How do you use your social media platforms to ensure your viewers that you're being truthful? FYI, everyone, I will tag there's multiple platforms for you all at the bottom of this clip.
Yeah, so I'm going to tie it back in because there was a similar question before. And if you're stressed about making sure that everything you say is the truth, you're on the right path, you're good. I want you to let go of that because, again, it's about consistency of perception. What is it that you want to share? How do you want to provide value? And that's what you lean into. These days, everyone's talking about own your truth, own your truth, own your truth. What is it that you want to sell or provide or give to people? That is perception is reality. So stop worrying about, am I being truthful? Because if you're already stressed about it, you're good. I promise you're good. Just consistency of whatever perception it is that you want to put out there. You are not obligated to share every single thing that you think or like or believe in this world. You do not have to do that just because you are a social media influencer or a personality. You get to choose what you share and what you don't. That doesn't make it dishonest. It makes it intentional about who it is that you're trying to speak to. And it shows that whatever it is that you want to show. So again, especially because you guys are educated, you're smart, you are the future of this world. And we need people who are that, but also confident enough to be able to pick and choose the things that are most important to their audience and be successful in it. Worry more about consistency of perspective than truth, because the people that are intended to find you and that you need to help are going to find you that way.
It will happen. You build it, it will come. Kind of mentality.
Absolutely, baby. It. I found you, honey.
Oh, God. And by the way, class, that is the very, very millennial and Gen X reference. If you build it, they will come. When you're persuading, what do you think is more important? What do you think it's more based upon? Social intelligence or logic?
That's easy. Social intelligence, hands down, every single time. Everyone likes to think that they make decisions logically and then justify it with then they get the emotion. Not the case. The majority of people have an emotional response. They make an emotional decision, and then they try and find the logic to justify how they feel about something. Why are the best salespeople that you've ever met in your life fantastic at storytelling? What is a good professor, a good public speaker, or a salesperson at the phone store that you're buying a phone to? When they can engage you emotionally, you trust them more. Right? If they can elicit an emotional response from you, but if someone just came to you and they just listed off every single thing about this phone that you're trying to buy and all the specs, and they said it does this and it does this and it does that, oh my, who freaking cares? But if salesperson at the phone store was like, oh my gosh, have you seen this new thing that this phone does? I cannot believe it. This is my favorite thing about this phone. I can show you all the other ones. Totally. We can look at those if you want. But this one allows you to edit photos like I've never, ever seen before. Can I just show you real quick? And like when someone's passionate about something, that's what grabs you, not the fact that they are a know-it-all about whatever topic it is. This is what it's a sales 101. This is persuasion 101. Like it's can you storytell? Can you engage your audience? Can you elicit an emotion? When you got someone's emotion, then you can follow it with logic, because that's how most of our brains work. So if you can understand that and realize that, be a good storyteller. Like what does this person need emotionally, and give that to them. That's not deceiving. That's understanding what what a human experience needs in order to make a good decision. Now, if you're a bad person, sure, it also works the other way, right? You see this on the news every single day, right? They elicit fear, and people make certain decisions that might not be the best for them, but they think it is because they were caught in an emotion. So don't be that. Get someone's emotion in a good way and to have them understand whatever it is that you're trying to sell or persuade them to, and then you back it up with logic. That is such a better way to go about it than the other way around.
Y'all, this is a perfect example of what she's talking about, of the different ads that we've watched this semester earlier, such as how many of you whimpered during the Budweiser Golden Retriever ad as the little puppy got lost and then was found by his buds. Social media platforms. Yes, absolutely. Social media platforms. For the last question we have is from one of the students who I think they want to start a platform. They want to know how to start a social media platform for promotion or business. What should be their first steps as they're taking those little baby steps to building a platform?
Absolutely. First of all, understand your audience. Who are you speaking to? And in what ways can you entertain, provide value, or help them? So be very, very, very clear on who it is that you're selling to. If you're selling to everybody, you're going to appeal to no one. So definitely niche down into who it is that you're selling to. And it's okay to be specific to that. So for me, what helped was I literally wrote down, when I started my coaching business, I wrote down a person, like characteristics, qualities. What did they do? Where did they live? What hobbies do they have? And specifically about a particular person. And I'm like, okay, what is this person? What do they want to hear? How do they want to consume the content that I have? And what would actually be valuable to them? So to give you like an example, something broad would be, okay, I work with buyers and sellers. That's way too broad. So if I was doing that, 3 tips on how you can get pre-approved. Okay, so that is like, nobody cares. You can Google that. But if I know that my buyer client makes X amount of money, they love to wakeboard and snowboard, and they, work a part-time job or whatever, they're an entrepreneur and they do their own thing, they make so much amount of money, I can make that fun. I'd be like, hey, you're an entrepreneur and you're a 1099 employee. And you're like, I don't even know if I've ever be able to become pre-approved. Well, here's a few things that you need to know in order to get pre-approved when you're an independent contractor. So it's when you know your audience, then you can make better content. The second thing I would do is go create 50 videos before you even start your social media platform. Because then you have something to work with and you have a bank, and you're going to get over yourself, because if this is the first time you're putting yourself on camera, you're going to mess up and you're going to be self-conscious. You're going to worry about the zit that's on your face. Like you're going to have all these insecurities, and you need enough exposure to get over that. Okay. Hi, me too. I didn't just show up being okay on camera. It took me a while to get to a place where I didn't care if a hair was out of place or didn't have makeup on or my shirt was cattywampus, like whatever. So make enough content to where you can get over yourself and get used to the fact that you're being filmed. And when you have that bank of content, then you can play around with, okay, where did I get engagement? Like look at your stats, see what people like, and then go create more of that. Because you might think you know exactly what your idea. That's what I did. I came in a little too proud, and I was like, oh, I know what people need. I know what people want. I know I've been an agent for 10 years. I know what they want to hear. No, I didn't. I did not want to talk about scripts. On my social media platforms, I talk about scripts, what to say, what to do, like how to say it, what's your tone, all of that stuff. That's not what I wanted to do. But when I started to release my content, then I started to realize, okay, this is what actually I was wrong. It's okay to be wrong. But that's okay. Just get rid of it then, and then start giving your audience the things that they want to hear. And it might be different than what you think. Maybe it's the same. Congratulations if it is. But it's more important, if you actually want to be successful, if you actually want to not just gain followers. It's not just about followers. I'm going to tell you guys a quick little story, because this is really, really important. It took me 2 years to build up 60,000 followers on TikTok. Okay. Really proud of it. Thought I was doing a great job, whatever. I lost that account. I got banned I still to this day have no idea why. I'm helping people sell more real estate. Anyway, whatever. So lost that account. It took me less than 6 months to get back up to 20,000 followers. And I have way more appointments in my books now than I did in the entire 2 years with 60,000 followers, 2/3 more than what I had in the beginning. And you know why? Because I got very, very specific, and I started saying, you know what? I'm going to put my 100% effort in. I know what works. I'm going to stop messing around and half-assing it. And I'm going to do the thing that I know worked the beginning, and I'm going to do it faster. So the quicker that you can learn, the quicker that you can get over yourself and not care, whatever, like if you were wrong, who cares? Just do the thing that you know works, and be consistent at it and do that. So if you're going to start a social media platform, know your audience, create a ton of content before you start it, and post like a mad person until you figure out what they want, and then go create more of that, and then say it again, and then say it again, and then say it again. Do not forget the marketing law of 7. You're going to think, oh my gosh, I'm creating the same video, just saying it a million different times? Yes. Yes, you are. Because in most cases, your audience is actually seeing a very, very, very small percentage of all your videos. On TikTok specifically, the For You page is like 96 to 98% of the content that people see is my For You page, people that don't even follow me. So I know, and I have proof of this, because when the agents that are on my team or that are my coaching people, they will ask me questions that I make a million videos on. And I'm like, you're following me. How do you not see my videos? Right? So just trust me on this. I've done this a time or two. And if you get this early, and the whole reason why I share about this is so that people don't have to make the same mistakes as I do. The reason why I create the courses that I do, I have the coaching programs that I do, is literally so that it won't have to take somebody else a decade to get where I'm at. There you go.
I love it. And y'all, this goes back to something too. If you guys have a setback, if you have an obstacle or even failure, don't see it as denial. See it as opportunity. Listen to what she said. She had 60,000 followers built over 2 years, lost it, and then within 6 months got back to 20,000 plus. And I'm going to be a little bit selfish here, you all. If it wasn't for that, I don't think I ever met this baddie.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So you guys, everything happens for a reason. It's only failure if you choose to quit. Like, do you guys know that the average millionaire goes bankrupt 7 times, and that's the average? So you have to look at when something doesn't work, see it as, you know what, that didn't work. Let me try it another way. The only time you can truly fail at something is if you quit. So we got to get, as a society, I believe, if we get more comfortable with quitting, if we get more comfortable with getting outside of our comfort zone, or sorry, not with quitting, I meant with failure. If we get more outside of our comfort zone and we get more comfortable with quote unquote failure, we'll have so many more unstoppable people, so many more confident people, well-adjusted, empowered people to do really good things in this world. And are there some bad apples in the bunch? Everywhere? Yes, of course. But if the majority of us do those things and are willing to do that and not shy away from messing up or failure, it's like part of my life purpose. So I hope you guys take this and just know that I want the best for you, and glom onto those people, follow those people, find other people like that, have them in your corner and do that for other people. And you'll be the happiest person you can be in this life.
Is there anything else you'd like to share with the students as we wrap this up?
Oh boy, just do it, and do it now. Like, I think the biggest thing, it's not more knowledge. It's not more experience that's going to make you more confident. It's you taking action. It's you keeping the promises you make to yourself. You want to start a social media thing? Do it today. Do it today. Just do it now. That is something that's helped me. You can, there's so many books on this. Mel Robbins has a good one. She does a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then boom, she does whatever it is that she doesn't want to do. There's so many different ways to put it. But on the Hype Squad, for us, we like to say, do it now, because it's so easy to procrastinate, and all of us struggle with it. If you don't, you're ahead of the game. Good for you. But a lot of us struggle with that. And a lot of it, I believe, comes from internal lack of confidence. And some of us are afraid of failure. Some of us are afraid of success. But if you can get used to just taking action right when you know you need to do it, instead of just waiting, it's way less scary than you think it is. And if you do it now, you're going to prove to yourself that you can, and probably more than you ever thought possible.
Jenn, you have been wonderful. Thank you for your time. Class, if you want more about this baddie, or perhaps you want to look at getting into real estate, this is the person to follow. TikTok, it's estateofjenn. Same handle for the other platforms? So
on TikTok, because the girl got banned, it's a State of Jenn official, but on every other platform, it's just a State of Jenn. So you look it up anywhere. I'm pretty much on every single platform you can think of. You can, yes, it's real estate based, but to be honest with you, if you're struggling with some self-confidence, I think honestly, a lot of my content is going to be really, really great for anyone. And I've designed it that way because I genuinely want to make more people self-confident so they can believe in themselves and go out and do really great things in this world. And you know what? I'm going to do something special for your students. If they want to ask me anything, I'm going to give you permission, but they have to answer a couple things. You and I will talk about this, but if they want to have a 15-minute call with me, I'm willing to do that for whoever wants that, but they have to be really prepared and know what they want to ask me. And it has to be different than these questions here. And I'm happy to do that. So you and I, we can connect and we can talk about what that is. And if they're interested, they can reach out to you about it.
Y'all, that's a heck of an offer. If you do have genuine questions that's different from these, take her up on it, because you don't get an opportunity like that too often.
Happy to do it.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jer Bear.
All right. Bye.